Greeting everyone, this is Ahmad Moradi. Welcome to our weekly show, Pixel by NETSTAIRS. My plan is for this week to introduce you to some of the projects that we are working with, along with some of the colleagues in the industry. Today, March 21st, actually, this is a podcast that is going to be released for today, is the first day of spring, and it happens also to be my birthday, so I'm going to make it short and sweet and talk about some of the subjects that is very dear to us, such as WebRTC. NetSTAIRS has spent many years working with different consultants, different colleagues, and so forth in the industry. Our goal is always to become pretty much like the Swiss Army knife, to understand different requirements, different topologies, different settings, and then deliver different kind of solution that is based on video and WebRTC. And practically, this is all we do. For these past 19 years, we have spent tremendous amount of time specializing in those two aspects. And the whole industry, such as cyberspace, recognize us as interactive digital media broadcasting and infrastructure guys. So without any ado, I'll introduce you to one of our colleagues that he has given us permission to feature his YouTube content in here, and that is Sahi. So I let him speak.
So I'm going to give now, I'm Tzachi Levent-Levy, the person behind BlogGeek.me. I'm going to talk now a little bit about WebRTC. I'm not going to go too deep in the technical side because we only have 20 minutes and some of you know WebRTC, some of you don't. So first of all, thank you for the opportunity for being here, and I hope not to bore you too much. What we're going to talk about first in 20 minutes is what exactly is WebRTC? What is it here to solve? How does it achieve that? The different types of entities in WebRTC, something that usually people miss. It's not only by having something in the browser and you can run off and do things with it. You can, but not much. And then if you want to actually learn WebRTC, where can you go to learn that? Because I'm not going to be able to achieve that in these 20 minutes. So what is WebRTC? If you go and look for the dictionary definition, it will be something like that. WebRTC offers real-time communication running natively from a web browser. That's only part true, and we'll see later why. But that's at least the nature of it. And then if you come from the voice over IP space like me, then for you, WebRTC is simply a media engine that got wrapped with a JavaScript API on top of it. Okay, so we have a standard API on top, a media engine, nothing that interesting. Something to remember, WebRTC is the only technology, it is not a solution. I usually get questions like, well, can WebRTC do this? Well, it can, but not alone. You need to add something to it in order to get there. You can't compare WebRTC to a full service, but you can build a service on top of WebRTC.
This is extremely important to point out because we also face the same kind of situation with different industry and colleagues and partners in the industry. So our goal has always been to educate it. So we want everybody to understand that when we are talking about WebRTC, we are practically talking about the technology, as Sahi is mentioning. So please take a listen.
So it is a piece of technology. Whatever you do with it, that's fine. How are calls made with WebRTC? We've got our two browsers here. You'll see these logos probably along this day a lot. And we've got a server, a web server. Now, the first browser is going to send a message to the server. The server is going to send that message or relay that to the other browser. Now, this is a request, an offer to make a call. The result is going to be that the Firefox browser here is going to send a response, a reply to that, an answer to the offer, and that message is going to get to that other browser. Once that happens, the magic begins, and we've got this line over here that can send any type of arbitrary data. It can be voice, video, or something else. Those of you that know voice over IP look at this and say, well, that's it. We know how to do that. Nothing new here. But if what you're doing is web browsers and HTML code, you look at that and you say, well, I could never send a message directly across browsers. This is fundamentally different than how browsing or browsers worked up until WebRTC. And this is something we need to remember. Now, what goes on 1, 2, 3, and 4 isn't necessarily WebRTC, it's just signaling, which isn't a part of WebRTC. Again, we'll see that later. WebRTC comes with three main API blocks. The first one is Get User Media. Get User Media allows you to access from the browser using JavaScript your camera, your microphone, or the screen itself to capture the screen. You can take that data and do whatever you want with it. Leave the other two, don't do anything with them. You can now take a photo of someone and put it on his profile on whatever social network you want to build with it. MailChimp is doing that already. So there are things you can do with it that don't relate to communication at all. Then you've got Pure Connection. For me, Pure Connection is WebRTC. Everything that goes in WebRTC goes in Pure Connection. It gets you the signaling stuff, or at least the stuff it needs to negotiate what codecs are being used. Is it only a voice call or a video call? Is there a data channel there? Is there more than a single video channel, for example? It sends that data over the line. It encodes and decodes the stuff that you are sending. It does everything. And it deals with NAT reversal. And then there's a data channel. The data channel simply allows us to send whatever type of data we want across browsers without going through any server along the way. These are the types of APIs we have. So what are the stuff? We have a media engine, nothing new there. Okay, you can say that the codecs are the latest ones, not the latest ones, are better codecs. But at the end of the day, it's the same type of technology that exists in any video conferencing solution today and any voice over IP call that you make. So what makes it so different? First of all, it's free. It's open source, it is out there, you can take it, use it, compile it, whatever you want with it. It's already, let's call it, pre-installed inside browsers. It's wrapped there so you can use it. Before WebRTC, that would have cost you anywhere between $50,000 to $200,000 just to start working with it, not including royalties that you needed to pay. So that's a huge deal. It's a reduction of barrier of entry to new players into this field. If it was only that, I wouldn't be happy. Coming from someone that did in his past video conferencing solutions, that's huge. The second thing is even bigger. This is for web developers, not voice over IP developers. It is a huge difference. I come from a voice over IP space. I've got my upbringing. There are certain things that I know how you do to build voice over IP solutions. So my mind is already narrowed to this kind of thinking. There are many other web developers that don't have these kinds of restrictions built into them. And now we're unleashing this kind of a solution to them. So this is going to change a lot of things out there. Where is WebRTC happening today? We've got Firefox and Chrome, of course, supporting it. Also Opera, not included here, but Opera is also one of the browsers that support it. And then you have Internet Explorer and Safari that don't have WebRTC built into them. There are plugin solutions in these browsers, but it doesn't come natively from the browser. In terms of the history, Chris already said, May 2011, WebRTC was announced. A few months later, near the end of 2011, we had the first browser supporting WebRTC. It supported only parts of it. It didn't really work. The echo cancellation was the worst ever.
For those of you who are interested in learning more about it, please feel free to visit bloggeek.me. That's his place where he provides real-time consulting and services, and we are one of the colleagues that we work in that association with him through having him to provide us with ways that we can test our platforms.
But it worked. Now, nothing happened in 2012. That seems like a lost year. But I started somewhere in 2012 to actually look at companies that do things with WebRTC. And from beginning to end, we went from a zero number of vendors that use WebRTC, 100 vendors that tinker and build stuff with WebRTC. And that without having a standard at that point, with a single browser that almost didn't work with WebRTC and changed consistently the types of APIs it provided, and still we had 100 vendors. 213, we had Firefox onboarding, second part of 2013. We had mobile support. Both Firefox and Chrome came out with their Android support for WebRTC. At the end of 2013, it's not here, Opera provided WebRTC on the desktop, and later on at the beginning of this year, on mobile, on Android.
Now, I want to remind you that we have, for all practical purposes, have been able to uh, provide a variety of services through WebRTC ourselves. So, and the market has changed because now many companies such as Microsoft, who have started their initiative called ORTC, companies that have embraced WebRTC and its derivatives such as SimpleRTC, EasyRTC, Janus, Jitsi, Frozen Mountain, just to name a few of these companies that they're all working with different variety of RTC services. We as NETSTAIRS decided to work with all of these companies. So we have built different groups, different projects that they're working on different topologies and different services where we can understand more as a middleware company that we can work with WebRTC for solution providing. And these solutions are going to be introduced in a variety of formats. Another thing that is important to us, and I'm going to make an announcement earlier, is we are going to take some bold strategies this year toward the use and consolidation of WebRTC, where we are going to acquire and merge and participate to build a truly a global operation for NETSTAIRS. We are going to have introduction of companies into our portfolios soon after, along with a next round of a capital formation that is going to give us the next process of growth and evolution throughout the globe. We're going to have offices and presence in Latin America, of course in United States and the Caribbean, and we're going to have presence in Southeast Asia and Australia, and probably in some other regions of the countries and world that we feel it's important to have strategic presence, operations, and growth. We also have a series of what we call platform technology license partners that they're going to be joining NETSTAIRS. These are our past and present licensees that they feel passionate about WebRTC and video. And since we have come from 19 years and March, this is another reason that we are celebrating this session right now, is because of 19 years of being in business by NETSTAIRS. So we started in March 2000. We started where there was no video, and now we are into real-time communication, broadcast, collaboration, and communication, where we call it IBCC. We build these infrastructures into what we call ICDN, and this is based on series of multi-layered cloud CDNs that we have already partnered with and integrated some of our services from our past experiences and companies that we have worked in the past, such as Akamai, Level 3, Limelight, Kaltura, to just name a few. And we subsequently plan to position our product line and series in series of things that they're going to have direct competition, both on the DTC and on the integration. Since we are mostly, for the entire past 19 years, have been more working as a B2B to B2C, we are going to continue with the same tradition of building white label platforms for the companies that they will be utilizing our technology to create new monetization. We are going to make series of announcements during this year. We're going to bring new partners from different areas that they're going to become value-added partners, ranging from China all the way to India. And we are blessed to increase our team that we are now working from several regions such as India, Pakistan, United States, Romania, Europe, such as Belgium, and obviously in United States and some of the other regions such as Brazil that we are working with some of the other developing partners. So these kind of opportunities now is going to bring a whole new spectrum of technologies. One of the ones that I'm really excited about is working with our group in Australia, which we will have a private session for that and share that with you. It's a whole new avenue where we are going to build the real-time communication with artificial intelligence platforms for referral, for viral, for the creative designers and mine. And this is going to become one of our first launch that is going to be targeted toward the vertical market. And we believe with that, we can emanate that into music industry, to the media industry, for content, both rights management from the production houses and TV networks and OTT market, as well as being UGC content generation. So this kind of things is going to be really exciting for us. Stay tuned, and we're going to be sharing some of that information with you as they become available. So thank you again. Enjoy our event, and we'll see you next week. Ciao for now.